Good morning. It's 7:03 on this Thursday, June 11th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Thursday morning. I tell you what, the weather couldn't be better this morning, I don't think. Late spring, and it's just nice out there. And the sun's shining. Going to be a great one. Tremendous Thursday it is, and we're on the air for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon. We've got Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly with us again this morning, as usual, and let me just say good morning to both of you. Good morning. All right. Paul, how are you?
Doing great.
You tell me your golf game's been pretty good lately.
Yeah, it's fixing to take a decline here real quick. We got baseballs rearing up, and I got my first travel ball tournament this weekend for my 12-year-old son, and my city team, my Bates Ford city team, is rearing up, fixing to start practicing here. So I'm fixing to be spending about a lot of time at the baseball field instead of the golf course.
Okay, but you, you do like sports. You do like even your business to sponsor things. It's good publicity.
Sure. Oh yeah, Tony is very well. He's involved in the community, and he wants to be part of. And that Lebanon Youth Baseball program is a great program. You know, they don't charge kids to play baseball, and that's something that's very impressive. And Bates wants to be part of something like that. So we certainly support that, and as well as a lot of other stuff in the community. We hate to hear the fair. Tony's a big supporter of the fair, and we were disappointed to hear that, unfortunately, and I understand the decision making in the process, but it was a little sad that because Tony he supports the fair greatly, so it was a little disappointing.
He has put a lot of money into that. I mean, he's supported it in probably in a number of ways, but especially monetarily.
Oh yeah, well, and he enjoys the concert series that he puts on. He does a gospel that he enjoys, and then of course we do a country artist, and he always tries to take a up and coming local artist and let them open for the main artist. And he's had some great artists with Charlie Daniels, Tracy Lawrence, Oak Ridge Boys. The list goes on and on. So he tries to do what the right thing always, and try to get a local artist and then the big name, and then do some gospel too. So it's a little disappointing.
I'm not sure I mentioned this morning that you're the dealer that'll trade for anything you don't eat, but we always got to get that in there. How's trading going?
Yeah, we need some stuff. Actually, we've sold it all. Our inventory is starting to get back up on our used cars, and we've had some new cars starting to funnel in, which is great. But we do need, if anybody's got stuff that they want to get rid of, whether it's a travel trailer, camper, motorcycle, car that they don't, whatever, we're certainly ready to do business.
Ronnie, sound like you've been doing a good job.
Yes, we've been doing a great job, and the inventory, like Paul said, and we're getting back. Hope that anything that you have that you want to turn into cash, we just please come down to Bates Ford and we'll put a price on it and try to make it work for you, because we need all the used cars that we can get right now. We got a lot of parents coming in right now want to buy their kids a car, and we need something in that price range. A lot of time we need something under $10,000, and I think Mike and Paul do a good job of trying to get those type of cars, but they're hard to get. And once we get them, we get them in and get them serviced and make sure they're okay. A lot of time, if they're not good, we don't keep them. Yeah. So we definitely need those cars, and our new vehicles. Right now, it's kind of getting tough to locate stuff because stuff is getting out. So hopefully, if you just continue to, if you have anything you want to turn to cash, please bring it in. But we'll be glad to try to put a number on it to make it happen.
All right, we try to mention every week you have convenient hours. You're open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday. That's the sales department.
Right.
The other is more conventional hours.
Yeah, service is 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and then of course we always open 8 to 1 on Saturday for people that can't get there during the week.
And we can talk about that $24.95 oil change. I keep wondering how long it's going to stay there.
It's there for a while. Miss Tanya Davis, my 98.9 rep, went and got both of her vehicles and serviced one Tuesday and one yesterday. So she took advantage of it. So it was
Tanya
a good
knows
deal.
A good deal when she
does.
So well, I I'm not necessarily putting it off. I just hadn't done it yet, but I'll be there sooner or later.
Right. It's a good deal. Like I said,
is.
we, and like I said, we don't just slap oil and filter on it and let you run out. We give you a full inspection, make sure your brakes, batteries, people going on vacation, you want to come in. And I think right now everything's starting to kind of open back up. So, anybody going on vacation, they want to come in and get their car inspected. Once you get that oil change, you get that free inspection. So that'll give you a peace of mind when you're traveling.
No doubt. And if you have one that won't make it for a vacation, Ronnie, you can sure help them out.
Yes, it may not make it to a vacation, but again, it may make it, but you still may need to go ahead and get a new vehicle. Be great going down to Florida in a brand new vehicle, 0% interest, 84 months.
If you got anything you just really like to sell today, one particular one that stands out in your mind you want to see go today?
Yes, we got a truck in yesterday. It was about a 17 model, and it's a nice truck, low mileage, and we'd like to see it go out. And we got a little Nissan, a nice little car for someone that's going to school. That's a car that we need to sell. It'll be right under 10 grand. We got 3 or 4 nice vehicles that need to go out, but right now we are kind of low on our inventory, so we need something. We had a little nice Escape that went out on yesterday afternoon. That was a great vehicle. And I know a lot of people want it, and sometimes I know people think that when we're selling vehicles, we say it's going to be gone tomorrow. They'll come in, so I'll come back tomorrow if it's here. But a lot of times it's not there.
We got some convertible Mustangs. We actually got 3 convertible Mustangs in. So it's people that want to ride with the top down, we got some really nice convertible Mustangs we just got in.
How old are they?
They are 18 model.
Yeah, you got some 18 models, 17.
Right. And I got a 17, 18, I believe, a 19 red. A beautiful red one, a white one, and a black on black. So we got if you want to drop the top and ride, you can more than welcome.
I think today would be a great day.
It'd be a beautiful day for somebody to come down there and drive it home.
You ever had a convertible yourself?
I have not. I've driven some when Mr. Bates is fortunate enough to give me a car to drive. So I have driven some, but most of the time I like to drive an SUV. That way I can throw the golf clubs in the back and the kids, baseball equipment, whatever I got to do.
Ronnie, you ever had a convertible?
Convertible, I drive it on the weekend, and that's all I would drive.
You got one?
No, I don't have one. I would, I'm like Tub. I'm very fortunate to be able to drive something, but I have drove them on the weekend, but never have had one for a demo because I always wanted something,
Well, I've heard, of course, the good points. You love. They're sporty, and you have that top back and let the breeze flow through and all this, but. People have said they're hot in the summer and they're cold in the winter.
Yeah, we had a good customer that's bought several vehicles. Mr. Gann come down there, and he bought one just from Ronnie just to kick around on the weekend. He called Ronnie and myself and said, y'all got a car I want, but he bought one. I guess some people like to have them just to ride around the weekend.
Well, depends on your situation too. I guess if you're single and looking for a woman to ride with you, your chances are probably a little bit better.
Well, I think his chances was his wife wanted it and he got to ride in it, so he got to buy it for her. I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think the missus wanted it, so he ended up buying it.
Well, I'm kind of waiting for our guest to make an appearance here, and we'll just keep going if we need to the break at 7:15. But one of the things I've been wondering about, and I know you pay, Paul, you pay a little bit of attention to it. Ronnie, I'm not sure about you, but Major League Baseball. Yeah, they're having all kind of problems deciding how many games they want to play.
It's millionaires against billionaires. I keep waiting, it's. And I'm so fortunate and glad. Like this weekend, I've been practicing with my 12U. I got a 12U Phoenix travel team that I coach, and I've been fortunate enough to get them kids back out on the field and just to see the look on their faces and to be out there doing things like that. And then I've got a Lebanon youth team that I coach that we're trying to work on some practice schedules and times, but to get the kids back out there, but to not be able to watch these major leaguers is and it's all I'm hearing about is the collective bargaining agreement, the contracts coming up in 2021. It's like they're both trying to position themselves in a situation, and I wish they would just come to the table and get some baseball out on the field where we go. I've been watching. I've woke 2 or 3 times I've recorded, and it's pretty sad to say, but have you seen that Korean baseball that's on ESPN?
No,
It's the Korean League, and I mean that's how much I was wanting to watch some baseball. I watched the Korean baseball on ESPN. Comes on in the middle of the night, and I'll record it, and in the evenings I can watch it. But I
They have some pretty good baseball.
Oh yeah, they do, and it's kind of funny. I was watching, and they had stuffed animals behind the thing in the stands, so it looked like they had fans. But that's pretty desperate. But I love the sport of baseball, and like I said, Tony's sponsoring the team at Lebanon Youth Baseball, and to see the kids getting back out there and things like that is enjoyable.
Well, what's your thinking as far as college football, especially the pros? We've heard quite a bit about that too. You think there's going to be really any hitch this year? We're going to just get started and be like even last year?
Well, the hitch I seen is when you seen them Alabama players come down with the virus. There was 5 players, and I thought, man, we're going to be seeing some college football. Then when that hit, it kind of gave me a little, I don't know, but I'm hoping, that they can get out there. I just don't see being able to do college football without fans. I mean, that's what it's all about. And I've seen like they're having a golf tournament this week. Of course, in Texas, they're not allowing fans. They're going to play PGA, but in a couple of weeks, they're playing in Ohio at Jack Nicklaus course, and they're allowing fans. So that is a positive. And I seen where NASCAR is fixing to start allowing some fans back in. So, hopefully we can get back to some normalcy and get people. But I just can't see college football without having, crowds.
Yeah, well, back to Batesford here. You're still, I suppose, practicing social distancing, and pretty much it depends on the customer you're going to. If they don't want to shake hands, you don't shake hands.
No, and we've got everything distanced out. We got our waiting room distanced out. We've got, like Tanya, she called me and said, "Are y'all still picking up vehicles?" And I said, "Sure." And I went to her house, got her car, and brought it back, and we changed her oil and took it back, and went and got her truck and brought it back and took it back. So, we're doing everything that customers that want to have a vehicle or they see something online, if they want to look at it, we'll take it to their house. If it's a used or new vehicle, let them look at it if that's more comfortable. I've had people that just drop their car off outside and call, say, "Hey, my car's in the parking lot." We're disinfecting, using covers, steering wheel covers, seat covers, trying to keep everything as effective and making sure that we're doing safety first, not only for customers, but also our employees.
Y'all got to go anywhere, right?
No.
Let's stick around. Let's take a break right here. We'll see where we are in a couple of minutes. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford, and they've got the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning again. It's back open there on 24 at Epps Mill Road in Rutherford County, where that was a mess earlier. Now we've got a crash 65 southbound at Dickerson Pike as traffic builds in that general area. They're coming down through Madison, approaching Briley on 65 southbound. Ellington Parkway inbound, that's starting to get busy as well. Hey, check out the premier luxury vacation cabins near Gatlinburg. Log on to CosbyCreekCabins.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
And we are now 17 minutes after the hour. Thanks for joining us. And I guess we're still on the air for Bates Ford. The dealer trade for anything you don't eat. We've still got Ronnie Kelly and Paul Tubbs with us this morning. And we talked about, I tell you something I did want to bring up, and that is the death of John Sloan. I forgot to mention that yesterday. John Sloan, outdoor writer for the Post and award-winning writer, and somebody who he started, first time he came to Lebanon, I think, was in a rodeo, probably back in the late 60s and the 70s. And John finally made Lebanon his home. and he passed away, I believe, couple of days ago, and I forgot to mention this yesterday, but he was always a good guest to have here, and he could talk about nearly anything, but he loved to talk about hunting, he loved to talk about fishing, and that sort of thing was pretty much his life. He wrote about it, and we will certainly miss him. Did either one of y'all know John much?
I did not.
I've seen him when he wrote a lot of things, and I used to read about what he write about a lot. And I remember when I started to work, I used to see him do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
And heard him speak a few times on the radio.
Yeah, he always loved to catch that big fish and show it to you. You either one of y'all do much fishing?
No.
No. It's golf and baseball and football.
I'm not much of an outdoorsman. If you don't believe me, ask my kids. They want me to take them fishing constantly. I got to have somebody show me how to tie a hook, so that tells you how good I am.
Let me change the subject a little bit here. We've, of course, we all know we've had the problem with the tornado that came through and all the damage from that, then the coronavirus and the social distancing and people being laid off and going through some difficult times. And there was some people that were saying, well, the automobile industry is going to really suffer, and there's not going to be as much manufacturing. And what have you seen? Is it, from what you've been telling us here, it hasn't. You've been doing really pretty good. Okay.
I'll just be completely honest. Our dealership is very, very, very fortunate. One, we got a really good family-oriented staff that, stuck together, and it's a faith-based group that believes that, if we do the right thing, that, and it starts with the top with Tony. But to be honest, our dealership has thrived through all this, and we've just tried to do everything we can do to be as upfront, honest, and try to social distance, take our, Tony's house got hit by the tornado, so we were affected by all that. But, all in all, we stuck together, and, our dealership has really never really had any, knock on wood. Our business was probably down 10% the first month and probably up 20% the last month. So, it's just a lucky situation that, my mother always told me, things happen for a reason. And if you do the right thing, good things happen. If you do the wrong thing, bad things happen. So, we stick to that, and I believe in that, and we try to do the right thing.
Well, one of the things that you could look at this two ways, but you had the cheapest oil change in town at $28.95. You lowered that to $24.95. Now somebody might say, well, they had not been changing enough oil, and they got to lower their price to increase the volume. But I don't think that's. I think you did that because just to help people out.
Yeah, because the reason why I did it was because of people were getting laid off, and they didn't have, and I wanted, and we're not making anything on that. I dare anybody to go up to the parts house and buy an oil and filter and try to do it for that price. We don't make anything on that. I just was doing it to support the community because, one, the tornado, and two, the people getting laid off, and to, basically get people in the door to help them out is what, the reason why we did it.
But it is a great deal, and is still going. And we hadn't mentioned your tires this morning, and I guess it's okay since my guest has not shown up. We can give y'all we can talk about several things, current events. But we can talk about Bates Ford all the way to 7:30 this morning. So one more time about the tires. You do have tires, and you got a great deal on those tires.
Great deals. We sold 6 sets of tires yesterday, and we had people, somebody working on tires all day long, and I've got 4 or 5 sets set up today. They're doing 2 sets that I sold had $130 rebates when you use that Ford service card. The Ford service card is something that you can, do like a 0% interest for 6 months or 12 months, depending. If it's over 500, it's for 12. If it's under 5, it's for 6. So you could buy a set of tires. When you use the Ford service card, it doubles the rebate. So 2 of the customers yesterday elected to use that card, and they actually got $130. They'll send them a rebate card in the mail from Ford Motor Company.
Yeah, that's great. Ronnie, you still hadn't talked enough about cars this morning. You've had your say, but sometimes I feel like we don't let you get in a word edgewise, or you have to do it that way.
Well, I'm okay with it. But I was thinking about what Paul was talking about when we first started out in March, when all this tornado and everything happened. You know, when we first started out in March, everything was going great, and then all at once we hit this peak and it just stopped. And then it picked back up. And like you said, once it picked back up, we were thinking, and I was thinking about, I said, over the years that we treated everybody right and tried to do the right thing. Then when the tough times came, people came in and they kept dealing with us, and parts and service and sales was going well. And when we would have our meetings on Mondays and Fridays, Paul would always tell us, to keep our head up and let's keep doing what we're doing. And if we need to do some things to change, to take care of the people, we would do that. And everybody got on board, and that was so great, and each time we would have a meeting, it would be very positive. And so all the managers would come in and say, hey, this is what we normally do, but if we got to, go another direction, we would do that. And we did that. And I think that was a big part of this thing, Sometimes we got a certain way that we sit down and put a deal together, and then when people came in, we would drive their car, but we wouldn't let them be with us. We would kind of sit down and they would sit over here, we'd do the paperwork, we'd come back. And so I think by making all those changes and we were very patient, and the sales staff and the managers, everybody worked together. And I think that was one of the things that kind of helped us along the way. And even though we wasn't getting inventory in, but in that couple of months, we were getting trades that we could resell. And that was a great point that helped us out a lot, having those trade-ins that we could resell. A lot of times we don't get those type of trades, so we were very fortunate to have that done, and we appreciate everyone in Lebanon and Wilson County that came in and supported us. We definitely appreciate that, because without the customers, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And all our service peoples, they took care of the customers, and we had a lot of cars. I know a lot of times Paul would leave it. Even at night, we closed at 6. We went down to 6, but people coming in at night, just dropping their cars off, leaving them for the next morning. And service, like yesterday morning, I came in, service, you didn't have nowhere to park. I mean, cars was everywhere.
It's a good problem to have.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. But we're fortunate. I mean, our service department's thriving. And I tell you this right now, as far as the market on a trade, the what you're getting for your trades is astronomical. I mean, we actually having to give pretty much retail price because that's the market right now, because cars are hard to find, and it's a good time for somebody, if they are in the market, to trade. You're going to get top dollar for your trade.
Well, it's all happening at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, and Paul Tubbs, the dealer operation manager. Ronnie Kelly's in sales. Both been there a long time. I've got 22 down here beside your name, Paul. Does that sound right? 22
Yeah,
years?
it's close, 22, 23 coming up, right in that range.
23's coming up. Ronnie, you know exactly. It still says 32 here.
I'm working on 34 right now. I'm working on 34.
I need to put at least 33 here then.
And that's the thing too, is we've got, I think 15, 20 people that's been there 20 plus years. I got 5 or 6 technicians that's been there 26, 25, 24. I mean, you get the same person. You're not going to have a different person or a different face. And all them guys really take pride in what they do and fixing stuff the right way, and that makes my job a lot easier.
Salespeople, as a general rule, come and go a little bit more than the others, don't they?
Yeah, we've had Ronnie, and then, of course, there's people that's been there for, some years, but that is kind of more of a revolving door than the end, because most of them people want to try to step up to management and things like that and stuff. So, but we do have some local guys that we've just added on and stuff like that. So,
well, you've got Eddie Oliver, who's been everywhere. Is he with you now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael Holbrook, he's selling there. His family's been involved in Lebanon for a while. Yeah. So, and so we try to keep everything local and support the people that support us.
You hiring anybody right now?
Nah, right now you
got all you need.
Right.
Okay.
As far as the technicians in the shop, we generally, we might have an oil changer every now and again that wants to go somewhere else. And it's a funny story, and I know you hear grass is always greener on the other side, but 99% of the employees that have left us have wanted to come back. I had 2 that left. It was oil changers that went to another local establishment and begged me just last week if I could hire them back, and I've already replaced them. And I said, I appreciate that, but right now we've got a full staff. So, it is a great quality place to work. So most of the time when people think the grass is greener on the other side, they still got to mow it. So,
Well, experience is a good teacher. Sometimes you have to experience a situation like that
Right.
to appreciate where you are. You go back, sometimes you can't.
yeah. So,
Well, it's been nice to have y'all here for the whole half hour here this morning, and hope things keep on going well. But glad to hear a good progress report
Right.
here, and hopefully things are going to get better. But remember, you can get that $24.95 oil change up 5 quarts, $24.95 plus tax. Bates Ford, you get tires. You guarantee you'll beat anybody.
Meet or beat anybody.
Match anybody's.
Right. Well, meet or beat anybody's price on any tires. So, and we're heavily in. Like I said, we put 6 on yesterday. I've got 5 or 6 sets today. So,
Well, that's telling us something, too. All right, well, that's going to do it for part 1. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, Ronnie Kelly in sales, and Paul Tubbs, Deal Operations Manager. Thank you both for staying with us here, and we'll go to a break here. Part 2 coming up. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2 to 1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still looking good coming down through Hermitage right now on I-40. All the traffic in from Wilson County on I-40 westbound, especially all the way up to the airport there through Donaldson. Traffic's on the increase on 65 as they work that minor crash near Dickerson Pike on 65. Southbound, you'll see some flashing lights there coming through Madison. Check out the premier luxury vacation cabins near Gatlinburg. Log on to CosbyCreekCabins.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So, what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and with all the craziness going on in the community right now, Bates Ford is still here to serve you. We've got some great deals, oil change specials for $28.95 for up to 5 quarts. We will pick up and deliver your vehicle, whether it's for sales or service. On the sales end, we've got 0 interest for 72 months and 6 months deferred payment. So give us a call at Bates Ford, 615-444-8221. Bates Ford, the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat.
Today's forecast looks very nice. We'll have sunny skies and highs in the low 80s. For your Friday, temperatures warm up into the mid 80s with nothing but bright sunny skies. Saturday's forecast looks very similar. Temperatures on Saturday reach the mid 80s with mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It is a Thursday morning, and we're awfully glad, just delighted to see Heather Sadler come and sit down here this morning. Come here to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living. Heather, it's been a little while since we've seen you. Not too long, but I guess 2 or 3 weeks. And,
Yeah. 2 or 3 weeks since I brought my little girls in here with me. So I had somebody to be able to watch them this morning so I could come alone. So.
And you've been to Florida, I believe.
We have.
Have a vacation?
We took a vacation. It was the first time my girls got to see the beach and the sand. And
how did they like that?
They loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. Now, of course, Cristobal was coming in as we were leaving, so the waves got bigger. And Savvy kept saying, "I not like big waves, Mommy. I not like big waves." So, because they got pretty big, but it was.
They play a lot in the sand.
Oh, in the sand, they're little fish, and we came home with more sand and more seashells and a snail, and I mean, we didn't get a hermit crab.
Did you have some time to relax? And
I did.
Yeah, okay,
I did.
and refresh,
relax, and then come back, ready to hit the ground running. It was a really nice vacation.
Well, that's kind of what vacations are for.
I only checked my email like 2 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with myself.
Okay.
So,
well, of course, Heather's here. She is the marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living in Lebanon, and the location is 1409 Medical Center Drive. We have a unique way of describing where that is, though. It is just north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. So if you were going to the emergency room, you'd take a left into the hospital. But if you go into the pavilion, you go 1 block further and then take the left.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So,
and you're down there on the right, of course.
That's right.
And opened in August 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It'll be 3 years. Coming up 3 years.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And we did open our 4th wing in March. Of course, that's also when we put a lot of restrictions on ourselves due to COVID. Our COVID, we were just talking about it, Coleman, but our communities here in Lebanon will have all staff and all residents tested on Friday. The state came out with that mandate about a month ago. They kind of started with severity of nursing and assisted livings that had cases, and we have not had any cases, so we kind of got pushed to the end. So the last day for testing, and the state is the one who gives the test, so we were in line. So our testing starts on Friday. There has been some changes coming down from the governor's office. Those came down yesterday. They're I want to say they're a bit vague. And then there's also some other stipulations. If you've had a case, if you haven't had a case, what they allow, if there's an outdoor area to do it versus indoor. Some of the requirements is if you come inside, you have to have a negative test. I mean, so we literally just got those yesterday about 2:00. So that came from the governor's office. Now the Department of Health will come back today and give a whole lot more clarity. So we're waiting we have a call today for that. So hopefully I'll have some news to share. We are sending out massive emails to all of our residents and families as soon as we have updates. And so we do that for them. And then next Thursday, I'll give you even more updates.
All right. Well, that'll be fine. But in the meantime, I'm just wondering what kind of attitude with all of this? They've been confined a lot more. They haven't been able to see people like they could before all of this. What's been the general attitude of your residents?
Our residents, luckily, their spirits are high, and our families are very, very, very supportive. I have friends in the industry, and some families aren't as supportive as our families have been. Now, our residents are ready to see their families. There's no question about that. They're ready to hug them and see them, and but we do lots of porch visits, is what we call them, and unfortunately, our memory care residents don't understand it as much. Sometimes that works in our advantage, sometimes it doesn't. So that's been the challenge for us. It's been memory care. Now our rehab, they had that in the hospital, so when they came, they kind of understood it. And then we've done a lot of discharges, and they're ready to see their families. So we've kind of across the gamut. Now we've gotten creative. We've done outdoor concerts. We've done parades. We've done hall bingo. We've done hall bowling. We do snack cart. We do coffee cart. We do trivia cart. We're working on vacasolation right now. and that's for our new residents that are coming in and they have to be on isolation. So we decided to make it fun. You know, if I'm going to be involved in it, Coleman, it's going to be fun. So our vacation, they get their favorite meal. One night they get their favorite dessert. We're doing towel animals like we're a cruise ship.
Oh.
That was
So
fun.
you're creative.
A little creative. We've got 14 days of things on vacation. So if they move in during the COVID, they have to be on quarantine, and so we're trying to make it like it's a little vacation. Okay. So. I kind of was thinking, well, I'm going on vacation. What would I want? So we do a welcome basket. And then, of course, on day 14, they get to take a out of quarantine stroll and meet everybody.
Oh,
so
great.
We're really excited about rolling that program out.
All right. If people need to know more, you've got a website, www.thepavilionSeniorLiving.com.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, your telephone number, 615-444-5556.
You can still come by, but we're going to meet you outside.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for being with us today. It's good to see you. Glad things are going well, and keep on. Let us know. Come back next Thursday, and we'll find out more.
That sounds good.
All right. Appreciate it. That's Heather Sattler, Marketing Director for the Pavilion Senior Living here at Lebanon, Tennessee. We're about 21 before the hour, and as I've told you kind of repeatedly, we have a number of candidates on the ballot for August 6th to talk to. Most of them are school board members, and we've got a candidate for school board this morning who joins us. I want to welcome Philip Murphy, who is a candidate for School Board Zone 7 on the Wilson County Board of Education. Philip, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Thanks for having me on. It's a beautiful day, and so I've been looking forward to this opportunity to speak with you.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you. Appreciate you giving us a little bit of time here, and we can find out about you. And I sort of have a little format of just about every candidate, letting them have an opening statement, if you want to call it that, but what it's primarily for. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you'd like people to know about you, your family, your occupation, your background, anything you can do in 2 or 3 minutes here.
Sure. So I'm married to a wonderful woman. Her name's Mandy. She's my rock. She's kind of the glue that really holds everything together for me and our family. We have 4 kids. 2 are adult kids, and then 2 are 8 and 6. Actually, well, when I was leaving the house this morning, I told Tegan and Jack, hey, Daddy's going to be on the radio, and they didn't believe me. So hopefully they believe me now. Hopefully they're listening and they believe me now.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But basically, my background is, I'm a Wilson County native. I grew up with, strong Wilson County values. This is my home. I went to Wilson County schools all my life. I went to W.A. Wright, Mount Juliet Junior High School, and then Mount Juliet High School. I graduated high school about a year and a half after 9/11, which that event had a profound impact on me. I kind of took it personally that we were attacked on our soil. So I decided to enlist in the United States Navy. It was kind of like a calling for me. And I felt in some small way I could avenge the loss that we suffered on that day. But for 3 of those years, I was stationed on board the USS John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier out of Jacksonville, Florida. We deployed to the Persian Gulf in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. And then towards the end of my enlistment, I was selected to serve on the Multinational Force Iraq command staff at Camp Victory in Baghdad. And then I was honorably discharged, and then I decided to attend Cumberland University on the GI Bill. I graduated from Cumberland with a degree in history. It afforded me a lot of opportunities. I was able to serve in Governor Haslam's Constituent Services Office. So I was able to see firsthand how government can truly help people. Now I work for the state, and you can see really my entire career has been about public service, and that's something that's really, really important to me.
Why are you running for this school board seat? Why do you want to represent Zone 7?
So I think I'm going to quote 2 presidents. I'm a history major. So But Ronald Reagan in his 84 State of the Union said, let us be sure that those who come after will say of us that in our time we did everything that could be done. And then Teddy Roosevelt in his Man in the Arena speech said, it's not the critic who counts, it's the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. And so for me, it's about doing something. It's about service. It's about being part of something that's bigger than yourself. I think there are times in life where destiny and reality converge, and I think this is a time for me, to represent our community. Just like when I felt I had the same calling when I decided to join the military.
Well, a lot of times when a person throws their hat into the ring for any job where you have an election, you feel like maybe you either have you disagree with the incumbent or you feel like you can do a better job. Mm-hmm. Is that have anything to do with you doing this?
Yeah, I think what it comes down to for me is I think there is I think there's a need to have a voice that maybe isn't out of touch, who kind of understands and wants to be actively involved, and who is committed to fight for the educators, the students, and the parents in the community. And I think having a voice that really is empathetic and looks through the lens of all of the folks who live in Zone 7. Zone 7 is a unique district in that there's growth. There's a lot of growth, but there's also a lot of folks who have been there for a long time. And so it's important that we make sure we take their opinions into account as we're talking about what we should do with schools.
Okay, we're at a point where we need to take a break. If you're just joining us, Philip Murphy, candidate for Zone 7 School Board, is here, and we've got a lot more to talk about after we go to a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:44. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now a traffic list check-in with Chuck.
Good morning. Cleaning up this wreck out here in Madison on 65 southbound near Dickerson Pike. Starting to build down Ellington Parkway. Here comes some traffic through Hermitage, Donaldson, passing the airport by Spitz Lane on 40 going westbound all the way to Thesslers. A vote for Dr. Byron Bush, Republican for U.S. Senate. Why? Because it matters. Log on today, bushforsenate.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's your first day in business, a new space, real investors, and butterflies the size of dinner plates. For peace of mind, protect your dream and call THW Insurance. Local folks representing quality companies like Westfield Insurance. Whether your business is large or small, contact Lori Carter of THW at 615-547-5632 or stop in and see her at the Wilson Bank and Trust West Main office.
Coleman and Company, again, thanks for joining us, and thanks to Philip Murphy for coming out to share his views this morning. He's a candidate for School Board Zone 7. As a school board member, you have a lot of have to work with 6 other people, of course, and you have to do a lot with I guess with policies and procedures and all of this, overseeing the school system, and the director of schools, of course, plays a big role in this. How do you see your role as a member of the board here, one of 7 people? And I don't know exactly what laws are in place or what your responsibilities are, those of the school director, and that the school director is pretty much hired by the board and charged with education here. But sometimes some members of the board don't agree with the way things are being done. Does that fit you to some degree?
I think Wilson County Schools, is a great place to be. I think it's where you want your kids to be. I think we have tremendous teachers I think we have, Wilson County is an exemplary school district. I think it's 1 out of 21 in the state. And so I think from an education standpoint, we're doing something right. I think from a board standpoint and from a representation of the constituency, I think that's where, a school board member can really make a difference. I think we can really focus on, building strong schools, which, I think build strong communities. I think, as a school board member, we should focus on empowering educators. We need to make sure their voices are heard. We need to make sure that they're involved in decisions and that their voice is respected. Students, we need to make sure as a school board that we're focusing on student success, which means that it's every student, not just a certain group, but it's every student. And then that ultimately, I think it's about opportunity. I think as a school board, we want to make sure that we are removing any obstacles that we possibly can for the students and for our educators so that they can do their job.
Well, are you basically pleased with the progress that's been made and where we are here now with the education that is provided? Do you think we rate pretty well?
I think what our educators and our teachers and our the administrators that are in the schools, what they have been able to do with the amount of funding that they are provided is outstanding. I think being an exemplary school district is something that we should be talking about as a school board member. That's something that should be promoted and talked about in every avenue you have the ability to speak. And I think as we progress into this kind of next phase of things, our school district is the focus on education and where we are we're in a good spot. I think with the board, I think with the representation, that's where the improvement can be. I think that's what we need to focus on to make sure that all of the voices that are maybe not necessarily heard are heard.
Are there certain changes that you would like to see implemented?
I think as we move into this next year, and one of the big issues that you hear a lot and that we're talking about a lot nowadays is the budget. And I think Wilson County Schools ranks 138 out of 142 in per pupil spending. And so as a Wilson County resident, that's something that that I'm not really proud of. I think we can do a better job in making sure that we provide the right amount of funding for our students. And so that goes back to, our teachers are doing such a great job to be an exemplary district, to be in the bottom 4 of per pupil funding is tremendous.
Well, the situation we have here, of course, is the school board does a budget, but the county commission has to approve it, and the county commission actually has charge of the purse strings, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Is that a problem?
No, I don't think it's a problem. I actually think it's a benefit, because I think I think as a constituent, as a taxpayer, you want to make sure that there's a check, that there's a check. I mean, that's why government is set up the way it is. There's a check and balance. I think we want to make sure that the funding that the school board has provided is approved by the county commission, and we should work together with the county commission and other government entities to make sure that we are, working together, bridging any kind of trust. We need to just create a better working relationship with the county commission, and I think that's something that I would focus on. Because you're right, as a school board, we do not have, do not have taxing authority. What we do have is a platform to advocate for our students and for our educators, and that's something that I would do.
As far as curriculum goes, are you basically familiar with that K through 12? Do you have any particular problems or changes you think need to be done there?
No, I would like to think as a school board member, when it comes to curriculum, I would want to leave that to the experts and let them inform me. And then as I gather all of the different aspects and views of a certain curriculum, then I would be able to make a decision. But I'm very big on relying on the experts because that's what they do. That's what they went to school for. They have advanced degrees in education. They're the ones that should be making the decision or providing the recommendation or providing the different sorts of options that we can go through.
I want to get back to the money thing because we do spend. There's probably between 70 and 75% of our county budget goes for education. There's a lot of money there. And one, do you feel that the trust issue, say between the Board of Education, the Director of Schools, and the County Commission could be improved on? You think there's a trust factor there that causes problems, could be improved?
I think the trust factor just comes from, better communication. I think it's just increasing communication, from what we're doing, working with, the county commission, and just sitting down with them, having a cup of coffee, and talking about the issues that the schools face, as BEP, the basic education program funding, as our county's ability to match funds grows, the funding from the state decreases. And so in 2018 and 19, we received $1.2 million from the state in growth money. This year, we're projected to receive $600,000. And so that growth money has been cut in half, and that's going to continue because Wilson County is thriving, and has been, prior to the COVID was doing very well. And actually, has done well and is able to meet their budget this coming up fiscal year.
You've probably been limited in your campaigning, but no doubt you've talked to a number of people. And as far as in Zone 7 here, what are some of the concerns you hear about that maybe you feel would, if you were elected, would need to be addressed?
Yeah, I think the largest concern right now is what are we going to do with schools when it comes to reopening. At the board meeting on Monday, we talked about a little bit of doing a hybrid, and then doing complete remote. And I think there are lots of concerns from parents. You have parents of children of special needs who really, having that physical attendance is important. Then you have if everybody's working at home, how do we make that work? How do the logistics of that work? Especially for our educators. If our educators have two kids who are in school, how do they teach their class? And then how do they make sure that their two kids are also attending class? And then same with working parents. How do working parents make sure that their kid is on a computer doing classwork? And then we're talking about bandwidth, and we're talking about equity. Does everybody have access to internet? Those issues right there are legitimate issues that the school board, the schools can't answer, but it's something that will drive a lot of frustration, I think, in the future, in the near future, if it's not addressed by, not necessarily the school board, but by the state in general.
All right, I'm going to let you wrap things up here in a moment, but I wondered if is there anything else in particular you wanted people to know about how you feel, or either a problem or a situation that you want to comment on while you're here this morning?
Yeah, before I wrap up, I just want to say, one of the things that our district is experiencing is a lot of growth. We've grown tremendously in the past few years. And right now, the Boyd Center at UT has population estimates of kids who are aged 5 to 19 at about 29,000. And with a rough enrollment of about 18,000, that's 65% are enrolled in Wilson County schools. Well, according to the projection, by 2030, there will be a nearly 20% increase in that same age group. So that's about a 3,300 increase in students. Mm-hmm. And so growth is going to be a big factor as we move forward into the future, and it's something that we should be thinking about now. Especially up in the 109 area, there's a lot of growth, in this district or in Zone 7. There's lots of new homes and neighborhoods being built. It's only going to increase. People are moving here. Wilson County is a place that people want to move to. They want to live here.
You think we're going to need some schools on 109 or near there?
I think in the future, if current trends continue, I think yes. I think that there's going to be a need for schools in that area.
Yeah. Okay, we got about a minute here. If you will, Philip Murphy, wrap things up for us. Tell us why you think the people in Zone 7 should elect you as a school board member.
Sure. So, I think, like I said, Wilson County is the best place to be. I think we have the best teachers in the state. And as a board, we should do anything we can to clear any obstacles for them. Because I think if we don't, we're going to lose those teachers, which are the reason, they are the reason why we're an exemplary district. We have a lot of opportunities to change some things with the budget, and I think if the voters vote for me, I know that I'm the right person for that job. I know that I'm the best candidate, but because for me, it's about serving you. I'm your candidate. I answer to you. And I think together we can build something great. We can build strong schools. Strong schools, build strong communities. We do this by empowering educators, focusing on student success, and collaborating with the community. And as your school board member, you can rest assured that I will look at every decision from the lens of the different folks who call Zone 7 home. So if your child attends Carroll Oakland, West Elementary, West Wilson Middle School, Mount Juliet Middle, Lebanon High School, Mount Juliet High School, Wilson Central High School, or if you live near Five Oaks, 109, Apple Valley, Bender's Ferry, Maple Hill Road, Man Road, Spence Creek, Tuscan Gardens, Karen Drive, Coles Ferry, Horn Springs, Summer Place, Point View, or whether you vote at West Elementary, Legardo Baptist Church, Berea Church, Maple Hill Church, Lebanon High School, or the First United Methodist Church. Be sure to vote veteran and check that box next to Philip Murphy for School Board Zone 7. Thank you and God bless.
Well, thanks for being with us. Our time is up. Philip Murphy, candidate for